Yeah, here we go. We are going to be having this matchup against a Korean Terran. It's going to be Jinioh, and Jinioh, quite an interesting Terran, quite a stylistic Terran. I know definitely one of the Terrans. I think it's him and Quanta and Honmono. I would call that the Magic 3
Oh,
Korean Terrans that are your favorites.
yeah. you know me
The
well.
crazy Terrans.
They're all apes, papi. They're
As
one of
we-
my own.
We do have one of 3 Goldilocks bears. Yeah, I got that right. We have Jinioh in the red.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice, we have his opponent. Possibly the most American, North American player out there. He is the Blue Protoss. He is MCanning. The embodiment of freedom.
The can man.
The can man. If anyone can, MCanning can. Oh,
Well,
boy.
here we go. We do have it, Jinioh. Just going to be going for a single gas opening, opting not to scout early as well. So this is a bit of your typical Korean skill check. They like to, either do something very aggressive or very greedy and just see how you're going to react to it. I feel like this is very common for Korean meta, I believe.
Oh, yeah, very common indeed. Meanwhile, MCanning actually threw down a GG spray onto that Terran ramp, so you love
Beautiful.
to see you love to see it already. And I was curious about something, because you did just kind of bring them up, and suddenly, I'm intrigued. When it comes to the top Terran in Korea, they were the Terran of the Apocalypse, if you recall, the 4 horsemen of the Apocalypse even. But when we're talking about Jinioh, Quanta, and Honmono, as the trio that they are, what are they?
I was about to bring this up because if we've got the Goldilocks Terrans,
okay,
we've got 2 cold, just right, and 2 hot. So
okay,
Honmono,
yeah,
too hot.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
crazy.
100%.
He's too crazy. He's too hot.
He burns me.
Okay, so we just have we got Jinioh and Quanta. I think I'm gonna say Jinioh too cold. He's ice cold. He's a killer.
Yeah.
And then we've got Quanta is just right. He's got the memes on point.
Oh my god. I was gonna say that in my mind, I could be wrong, but in my mind, when I think like too hot, just right, and too cold, I also think like too cold is like a little bit younger. He's a little bit more innocent, and I want to say that's where Jinioh lies. You've seen his stream, right? Like he's like
too pure. Too pure for Terran.
He's so pure. I'm like,
this is too happy and friendly. He's playing the wrong race, honestly.
I'm like, you're not a Terran player. Get out of here. You're not. What's going on? Where's the smoke?
Not even really a StarCraft player at that point.
True. Why is he smiling? Why is he so full of life?
I was trying to work out which race should be happy and friendly, and I'm like, none of them.
They're all angry and bitter, and they've given up. Oh god.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, we're going to be seeing Jinioh going for a bit of a classic TY build here. Going to be going for those 2 Hellions straight into a 4 mine drop, and it's definitely a greedy opening, but it's an opening that has the potential for a lot of damage. I love this from MCanning. Blocks the tank from landing, and that delays the factory by a lot. Actually, this is going to be really hard to clear out.
Yeah, there's only a single Marine at home to defend because the Hellions went across the map. They're not turning around, by the way. They're at the triangular third base locations of his opponent. So this Adept is doing such insane damage. He gets a kill on that second Marine. At the same time, the quad mine drop does hit the natural base of MCanning, but he is quick to respond. The mines are going to go off. Up.
Yeah, nice quick pull. We just see some good micro from Jinioh. Just gonna be constantly retargeting. Oh, the mines. Oh, a lot of pros going down. I think that could have been even worse, honestly. But yeah, MCanning just kind of losing track of that in the chaos of defending the second wave of the mine drop.
Mate, the retargeting was insane. The Hellions, they dived back in. They didn't go back home because they were waiting for this moment. They're going to be able to roast up more of these probes, but we do see that the shield battery is going to be keeping a lot of these alive. The Stalkers come down from the main base and they're going to clean this up.
Yeah, the shield battery does well when we take stock of these. Oh, and the medevac going back in, unfortunately. But when we take stock of things at the end of that, we do see 12 workers have gone down. So all in all, not bad damage. Not the most incredible damage either. You have delayed a lot here as Jinioh to get this to happen. And we do see as well, he actually forgot to put back on building that racks.
Oh, only just now pointing it out, or only just now getting on top of that rack. So a lot of chaos being caused in the bases of both players, to be fair. Like, we already see that this is becoming a bit of a knife fight here where the production of Jinioh was hindered, but the economy of MCanning also took a bit of a blow. I also just, again, want to praise Jinioh, though, for that targeting. Like, it goes to show, like, how fast, how young, how quick he is, how he still has hope. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was definitely nicely done and did maximize the damage coming out from that. I think if he didn't do that, he would be in a pretty rough spot here. All things considered, considering the amount of damage he got, I think he's very slightly ahead, especially considering as well the mining time that was lost. But meanwhile, for Jinioh, we do see he's progressing along and actually going to be going into a 5 rack, so he's going to be looking to go all in off that damage, and I think this is a pretty nice decision. Yeah,
there we go. Those 2 additional racks were thrown down at the natural base. That means there's not going to be a third CC. He could even pull the boys with his next push, but he has to make sure he clears up whatever vision there is. MCanning does have an observer waiting outside the natural base of Jinioh. He does even spot that Raven, so he pulls back a little bit just to keep that observer alive. And MCanning, he's doing what he does best. He's not just going to be playing with some balls. He's also going for some DTs.
Yeah, there you go. Some great attention to detail from MCanning just to pull back at that observer. And it does look like these Stalkers, they're going to be looking to put a little bit of damage on this Raven. Doesn't want to be too obvious about it, but if he could snipe that Raven out, that would definitely help him to force a few scans here. We do see Jinioh just going to be playing it safe, pushing quite slowly with this 5 racks push as well. You do have a lot of potential with this push to just keep on reinforcing, so there's not really a huge rush to get this push going.
Yeah, but he's pushing across map nonetheless. Meanwhile, MCanning Stalkers won't be able to get eyes on this. He won't be able to slow this down too much. The first disruptor, I believe, is already out. It's at the 3rd base location. Again, this is very MCanning to skip the Colossi and go straight for the disruptors, but Jinioh, he gets sieged up here outside the main.
Yeah, I think considering that this is such a big tank push, the disruptors are a nice choice, but this position is going to be untouchable for a little while for MCanning. I think he just has to give up these front gateways.
Yeah, the gateways are going to be going down here. He's going to try and rotate on over and try to deal with these medevacs, but the tank positioning is just too good.
Yeah, I really don't think there's anything he can do here as MCanning. He just has to try to hold up the top here, maybe jump on top of this as the tanks are repositioned.
Yeah, at the same time, reinforcements are hitting the front door of MCanning. Nova's going to be going off, does get a Marauder. Bearing in mind, DTs are actually trying to get on top of those tanks.
Oh, MCanning just kind of caught not looking there, and it does look like the DTs are going to be able to clean up the low ground, so very nice choice going for these DTs. They are going to put in some work, but MCanning losing a little bit too much in that first little skirmish.
Yeah, he does lose a lot of his Stalkers in the end. He does get the Raven, he does clean up those DTs, those tanks on the low ground, and they just have to rotate on over towards the top. At the same time, another push comes in towards the natural, does get cleaned up.
Yeah, we'll get cleaned up. And meanwhile, in the main, everything is being cleaned up. We see the Nexus is going down. This Robo Bay going to be going down as well. We've had a total of 5 gateways unpowered here. Might be a 6th one going down here as well as the Cybercore.
Yeah, without the Cybercore, we can't warp in any more of these Stalkers. We see another Nova going off, does force the pickup. The tanks are going to have to unsiege and get the hell out of here, but no, Jinioh wants to stay. He's continuing to rally across the map.
Yeah, Jinioh continuing to be very aggressive with his units here, but it does feel like the damage is done already. We have a 4th up and mining for Jinioh. He's continuing to rally across the map.
Yeah, it looks like he's finally consolidating his forces towards the middle of the map. It looks like these reinforcements at the 3rd base are going to get cleaned up here. Not quite trading too well for Jinioh, but his main army in the main is finally going to evacuate.
Yeah, there we go. We do see it. The extra gateways here for MCanning are going to be starting to finish up, so he can start to burn through some of that bank. Does have an extra Nexus on the way as well, so he is starting to stabilize here, but Jinioh's bio count, pretty significant. He does have a 4th base on the way as well. I would like to see him maybe throw down an armory as well, just to start getting into those extra upgrades, but it looks like he's going to be going for another big push here.
Yeah, I don't know if he really intended for the game to go as long as it did to need an armory, but there we go. Ask and you shall receive. An armory is in production for that 2-2. Meanwhile, Jinioh is pushing on in. He does get spotted by the Observer. The Disruptors are getting in position. How good are these Novas going to be?
Yeah, it looks like the Novas are going to be making contact with the tanks. We see 2 of those tanks going down, but pretty huge Marauder count here, and there we go. Both of those Disruptors have been spent. We do see Jinioh diving right on top of the shield battery overcharge. He's a little bit overstimmed here, but I think there's just not enough left for MCanning.
Yeah, there should be enough Terran to break on through. We have another warp in of Zealots just in time. As you were saying, these medevacs are running out of energy. A little bit of an overstim. Jinioh is forced back, and MCanning has an opportunity to rebuild. Unfortunately, he actually doesn't have any robos. That's why we didn't see any additional Disruptors. The robo just now gets finished, but he actually has to remake the bait.
Yeah, no Robo Bay. We do see those upgrades are on the way. We are going to have that +1 shields. That'll be really helpful against Marines, especially for the Zealots. We have those gateways being repowered in the main as well. So he is working with a decent amount of gateways here. He can start to get himself back into this game, but it does just feel like the momentum just way too far on Jinioh's side. And a Terran with a lot of bio and a lot of momentum is very hard to deal with as a Protoss.
Really is, especially with limited splash damage. That's probably the biggest thing. I do think that if MCanning had access to rebuild his Disruptors, I do think that he can come back in this game, but for the time being he's only working with 1 single Disruptor, so the comeback opportunities here aren't anywhere near as high.
Yeah, there we go. We do see those sensor towers coming up, so Jinioh is going to be setting himself up for a bit more of a defensive setup. Does have his army split in 2 as well, so should be able to establish plenty of map control here, and we do see him already starting to clear out some of these spotter Zealots of MCanning.
Yeah, MCanning does have a lot of map vision due to the Zealots, due to these Observers, but they are all being cleaned up. Meanwhile, we have a triple drop slipping in towards the main base of MCanning. He doesn't have too many important structures here, but production is important regardless, especially in these low econ scenarios. There's a couple of gateways that are being focused down.
Yeah, there we go. This main just going to be cleared out. It's a little bit too far away for MCanning to defend here. It does look like he's put a little bit of gateway units here. Should be just enough to clean this up, even taking out some of these medevacs.
Yeah, 1 medevac does go down, but the other 2 do get away. At the same time, we have a little bit of DT harass at the 4th base of Jinioh, but we have a planetary, we have a missile turret.
Yeah, MCanning a little bit slow as well to reroute his army from that main, and is looking quite undefended here down to the south.
He may have to recall back home. We do see 1 Nova going off, and Jinioh, is he looking? Oh, he does get the Disruptor in time.
Yeah, the Nova just goes off. It doesn't quite catch that much of the bio. We do see a second stim coming out from Jinioh, so his army quite overstim, but we did get a little bit more time for these medevacs to... Oh, another stim. Okay, this is becoming a problem.
Man, he really wants to stim right now, and it looks like he's going to be able to deal with all these Zealots in the end, and maybe overwhelmed, but you were talking about it. Maybe his army is just a little bit too softened up.
Yeah, that overstimming, especially versus Immortals and versus Archon. The Immortals will chunk through overstimmed Marauders, and we do see this army cleaned up where maybe it shouldn't have, but yeah, there just isn't enough left here for MCanning. Realizes that he's got nothing to defend that second army. GG is called.
GG gets called, and after a pretty scrappy game, Jinioh does take the first win of this series.
Yeah, there we go. So Jinioh going to be taking the lead, but I definitely feel like this is going to be a great series. These 2 players very well matched.
I loved it. It was a lot going for both of our players. I was really impressed with how MCanning was able to attempt to recover there, going for the Disruptors when he did, going for the DTs as well. Just a couple of missteps here and there. Maybe the biggest one is when he wasn't quite paying attention in the main base and he lost a couple too many gateway units, because once he did lose control of the main, like that's when he was really having a hard time getting control of the game itself.
Yeah, 100%. I think that was a bit of a turning point for that little battle there. But there we go. We do have game number 2 on the way, and we are going to be getting that on Moondance. So Moondance going to be, once again, a little bit of a tough map for the Protoss to deal with such an aggressive Terran on.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. I'm sure Jinioh wants to be in his face, but maybe MCanning now has a better idea of the kind of player he's up against.
Yeah, I didn't really consider that. I know Jinioh does occasionally play on NA and MCanning does occasionally play on Korea, so I do feel like they probably run into each other here and there, but yeah, maybe just needed that first game to fill him out, as here he is in the bottom right-hand corner of the map playing for Team Envy. Oh, not Team Envy anymore. I forgot they disbanded now, but here he is, the red Korean Terran. This is Jinioh.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Moondance, we have his opponents. We have the embodiment of NA StarCraft, the blue Protoss player. He is MCanning.
Oh, he's kind of on Team Envy. He's on Club Envy.
Yes.
Looks like they've got a bit of a legacy team going.
Yeah, so the way that it works is that they disbanded their pro team, which means, from my understanding, they do have like a clan or a roster, but they aren't salaried exactly. You know, they're just a group of players that do kind of support each other, and I'm pretty sure they have at least jerseys. But yeah, the funding isn't as it used to be.
Yeah, definitely a little bit sad to be seeing that old strong team of Team Envy going out, but I feel like they went out with a bang. I remember they had a bit of a photo shoot for that last GSL with, you know, Bunny and DRG and Creator, and yeah, definitely a still a great team to be associated with.
Definitely. They have a lot of passion, and they did what they could in the time that they had in Korea and continue to have in Korea as well. Oh boy, and we'll see how Jinioh is able to represent them here, as for the time being, going for a double gas opening, going for racks into a factory. Nothing too crazy coming out here from Jinioh.
Yeah, just gonna be opening up with this double gas opening, which has become quite standard here in the matchup. We do see as well MCanning just gonna be opening up things pretty normally as well. So yeah, both players just doing things as you doing things as per the meta.
Yeah, as would be expected. Oh boy, for the time being, once again, MCanning throwing down that GG spray on the ramp of Jinioh. You love to see it. Oh my god, just trademark MCanning moves as the Reaper across the map just confirm the opener, confirms the pylon count, the base locations, and all that good stuff. Just MCanning being a little bit cheeky and annoying at the start of the game here, just chipping away at the building SCV of the CC on the low ground.
Yeah, so it's a little bit greedy of Jinioh to go for this low ground with a reactor as well. He will lose a little bit of build time because of that, but not that much.
Is going to be made in the end. We do see the Adept coming out though, and one more shot and the SCV is going to go down. MCanning, he does go for it.
Yeah, there we go. So Jinioh, yeah, definitely being punished here for being a little bit greedy going for this low ground expand, but we can see he is going to be going for a mass Reaper Hellion opening. So this is something that I have seen occasionally in this matchup. Just going for this kind of TVT opening in the TVP does mean that you can get this very fast aggression on the way, but MCanning with a full wall. Fantastic reaction.
Oh, it's not a full wall though, because the Stalker, it doesn't get knocked away. The KDA charge was a little bit misplaced, but the boys are being pulled and the Reapers are getting in.
Ooh. Yeah, and all of these probes going down before that shield battery can finish up. This is huge damage for Jinioh. This is definitely probably more than you're expecting to get with this opener.
Yeah, exactly, especially because MCanning was going for a robo opener as well. He had very minimal units to defend. He has 2 Stalkers, and in the end, I'm afraid to look, but 12, 13, soon to be 14 probes have gone down.
Yeah, that is devastating damage here, and MCanning, he's going to have to go for some kind of all-in, some kind of aggression on the other side of the map to try to get himself back into this one, as it does look like he's going to be attacking his robo. Definitely not a good start.
A bit of a feels bad, man. Again, like, MCanning had a really great response to what he scouted. He recognized what was going on. He knew that a full wall-off would save him, but a little bit misplaced here, maybe a little bit nervous. You know, MCanning doesn't have the most offline experience out there. Oh boy, and Jinioh is not stopping, by the way. We have a follow-up Widowmine drop slipping on in.
Yeah, MCanning here, he needs to take a really greedy third just to try to get back into this game. He doesn't really have that many units at the moment, but he just needs to do anything he can to try to get back into this one.
Oh my
god!
god!
And a sentry goes down. A high energy sentry as well. That is really rough. He is losing so much mining time here as well.
The attention that Jinioh gives to these Widow mines, once again retargeting. Oh my god.
Yeah, getting more gateway units here, and MCanning was already being greedy with the amount of gateway units that he has, and he's just lost half of them.
He really has. We have 1 Stalker, 1 Sentry remaining. We have 3 gates in total. He's going to do something crazy. Of course, you were talking about that faster third base to come to make up for his economic loss. And he's even going for a faster robotics bay here without a Twilight Council, without any kind of gateway support.
Yeah, I mean, he basically has to do something like land an insane disruptor ball or... well, that's probably it. I think that's the only way that he gets back into this game. Because Jinioh, he is just moving towards this normal 301 stim timing, and I just don't see any way for MCanning to hold this, save for landing some giant disruptor shot.
Yeah, and I think he knows that as well. He knows what needs to be accomplished here, and the Bay is a way to do this. It's either the Bay or even the Dark Shrine. But of course, because he already had the Robo, he's using what tech he has available to him. He's trying to chrono out 3 probes at a time, and we should be seeing a disruptor next. Oh, Colossus! Oh my god.
Yeah, there we go. Going to be a Colossus first, so that's going to be a little bit more difficult to work with, I do think. The Raven can just kind of come in and matrix that and stim on through everything that's left. So this is going to be a tough hold for MCanning. That's for sure.
It really is. Like, to be fair, you know, we talk about this all the time. Colossi, you know, they're more consistent splash damage. They're a little bit more reliable than disruptors, but reliability is not what we need right now because we just, because of the early game, because of how this game started, we need more kind of pizzazz. We need a high risk, high reward. We'll see if MCanning can make some magic happen. It isn't going to be impossible. Of course, there's always the possibility, not just with these Colossi, but maybe even with some force fields, like cutting up the army, maybe can make a good engagement happen.
Yeah, but here we go. Jinioh going to be pushing out here. It does have a drop going into the main at the same time. That is going to be spotted. It does start to attack this pylon as well, but MCanning just doesn't have the unit count to deal with this at all. I don't think he can really do anything other than just warp in a few stalkers here.
Yeah, at the same time, the main army tries to push up through the center of the map. MCanning is going to buy himself a little bit of time. He does force field the ramp, so that is going to at least alleviate some of that pressure, but the drop in the main base is still going uncontested.
Yeah, great force field, but at the same time, 3 Stalkers is not enough to deal with 8 Marines and a medevac. These Marines are going to get right on top of that economy here, and it does look like at the same time we have this Raven coming on in. Will he be able to get the disables off?
Oh my god, we do see a couple more force field. There is that disable. The tanks are going to be able to siege up on the low ground. Meanwhile, the 8 Marines were finally cleaned up in the main base. We now have 2 Colossi available for MCanning. But pushing into these tanks is still a tough ask.
Yeah, I don't know. This is actually starting to look a little bit better for MCanning here.
He's setting up for a surround. Maybe he can collapse on this army. If he does, or if he is able to execute this well enough, he can pull this off.
Yeah, we do see the Colossus going to be getting straight on top of these tanks. We do have the Immortal starting to chunk through. There was an extra Matrix here, though, so that Colossus will be disabled. Meanwhile, in the main, looks like one of these Colossus was either taken down or just moved away. I think it was taken down.
Yeah, the Colossi went down to these Marauders. The shield batteries were not enough to keep it alive. We still have 2 Colossi, but we don't really have any gateway units. And speaking of gateways, they're getting picked off.
Yeah, gateways going down here. We do see these Marauders are going to be getting on top of this Colossus, almost taking it down. Colossus not really able to DPS by itself through these medevacs, as we do have Jinioh just backing on off, trying to rotate around. MCanning just doing whatever he can with these robo units, but he has, I mean, looking at his units, he has 3 Zealots. That's it for his gateway units.
He has 3 Zealots. We do have an overcharge. We do have an overcharge of Colossi into Immortals. Anything can happen, mate, as the army's going to try and stim on forward. They do take down the Immortals, though. They were just barely out of range.
Yeah, 2 Immortals go down just out of range of that super battery. Looks like he was a little bit distracted by this drop that was heading into the back of his base here. And Oh, it does look like MCanning, his economy is starting to stabilize, but I'm just not sure that he has the army to deal with basically anything that Jinioh can do to him now.
Yeah, but you know what? The first disruptor has arrived, and depending on how juicy this Nova is, maybe he can hold on and survive this push. Jinioh has eyes on it though. He is fully aware. He's already pre-splitting his army.
Yeah, there we go. We do see Jinioh just kind of slowly poking forward, trying to put some damage on these gateways. Doesn't want to overcommit at all, especially in the face of the Colossus. Doesn't want to throw this one.
Yeah.
We do have this tank shelling away at the gateway.
Now the Vikings even show up as well, dishing out some BBS to the Colossi. The first Nova goes off, but he only gets a single Marauder.
Yeah, single Marauder that had a Stalker volley on the way to it that was about to kill it as well. But at the same time, we do see Jinioh just taking his time here. Doesn't want to stray too far from the tank. Doesn't want to jump on top of a Colossus over shield batteries. Definitely understandable.
Yeah. I mean, there's 3 shield batteries here. There's an overcharge soon to be available. There's actually not enough energy on the Nexus, so it looks like MCanning has to buy a little bit more time here as Jinioh is getting ready to really pull the trigger. He's just slowly chipping away at those shield batteries.
Yeah, there we go. The overcharge has been committed once again, and this might be a good time for MCanning to fight. There we go. He does jump forward. Does it get that tank taken down?
Yeah, great Nova does take down the tank, but what about the army? A second Nova is going to be going off. Ooh, but the disable on the disruptor.
Yeah, clutch disable coming out there. That could have been disastrous, as we do see extra disruptor is going to get out on time, but with this extra stim from Jinioh, he will be able to get on top of the units. The 2 Colossus will turn him back just temporarily while he heals up his army.
Yeah, he's just consolidating his army here in the middle of the map. He's trying to expand and take a 4th base behind this. We do see that the Robo went down, so right now we have 0 Colossi or Disruptor production. What you see is what you get, and MCanning only has 2 Colossi right now. He's going for double forge. This man, he wants to catch back up in this game. He believes that he can, and to be fair, Jinioh is giving him quite a bit of breathing room.
Yeah, there we go. So Jinioh just getting established on his 4 bases here. We do see back at home for MCanning. He is getting that extra base on the way, getting those double upgrades, getting double robo as well. So just giving himself every extra opportunity. He's obviously recognizing here that if Jinioh, comes in straight away with another push, he's dead either way. So he might as well play for a later game.
True. And so far he's getting away with it. We see Jinioh being a little bit scared, anticipating an all-in counterattack. But as he has recognized nothing is coming, we see a Doom Drop slipping on towards the left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, MCanning, how do we come back? Not just double disruptor production, Dark Shrine also on the way.
Yeah, there we go, and we do see Jinioh is going to be routing this double drop, these 4 drops, around the edge of the map, and he does have 2 huge armies here. I'm not sure if MCanning can actually fight either of these armies on their own without landing some nice disruptor shots.
Yeah, let alone together. We'll see. MCanning does have 2 disruptors with his main army, so he can maybe take a fight, but here we go. We have a massive load, a Doom Drop going straight into the main base of MCanning.
Yeah, there we go. He's just going to be blanking these out through the middle of that main base, trying to spread them out nicely to avoid that splash, as we do have the extra 4 drops actually going to be heading towards that back base.
Interesting choice here. We do see the Nova going off, does get a decent connection with the main army of Jinioh, but at the same time, the massive Doom Drop in towards the pocket base is actually even going to be able to take down these forges.
Or both forges go down, so we'll not be seeing 1-1 coming out from MCanning. He is slowly starting to clean up this army that is in the main. We do get another good disruption shot, but the base has gone down. GG is called. Jinioh with a convincing 2-0.
Wow, GG. Well played. Jinioh does take the series here over the hometown hero MCanning. MCanning put up a good fight though, especially in the first game. The first game was a lot more back and forth. There was a lot more potential there, but here in game number 2, it was a bit of a rough start, seeing that kind of TvT Hellion Reaper opener from Jinioh doing as much damage as it did.
Yeah, 100%. It kind of felt like from that point on the game was over, and MCanning did some really clever things to try to keep himself in the game, but in the end, when you have 3 Zealots, 2 Immortals, and a Colossus, there's only so much magic you can make happen.
Yeah, Protoss OP, but not that OP. Smoge, Papi Smoge. As Jinioh does advance on in the knockout bracket, this is where MCanning's run in DreamHack did end. So my condolences to MCanning, but I'm sure he had, again, a great time at the event as well. You know, I'm sure he was very active on his social medias, talking about it. So yeah, GG. Well played, MCanning. Well played.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone who was there lucky to meet, you know, the greatest NA player of all time, the most American, the most free, and therefore the greatest player in any region, because it's the best region.
True. Oh my god. So with that, Jinioh, he moves on in the knockout bracket, and he has another American Protoss ahead of him.
Yeah, there we go. So we are going to be seeing him come up across
A Duckling.
a very own Duckling. Yes.
Yeah, let's go, Papi. Let's go. So where MCanning failed, can Patty Mac recover? Can he show that North America can stand up to these Korean Terran players? Is Patty Mac Goldilocks, or is he just another bowl of porridge?
It's the other way around. The Terrans are the bowls of porridge. Is Patty Mac Goldilocks?
I thought the Terrans were the bears. I thought they were the bears, Papi.
What? Too hot, too cold, and just right.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, at the end of this, someone is going to be inside of the other, and we'll see who it is, as we're going to be getting into game number 1 of our next TVP.